They sealed his tomb, posted guards at the grave, and by sunrise, death itself had lost. Night had fallen over Jerusalem, but peace did not come with it. The sky that had darkened at his death now gave way to silence too heavy to bear. The cross stood empty, but grief remained. The one who healed the blind, calmed the sea, raised the dead, and spoke of a kingdom not built by human hands now lay buried behind a stone no grieving hand could move. His followers were shattered. The disciples hid behind locked doors, not just from soldiers, but from disappointment, fear, and the crushing weight of what seemed impossible. This was not how the story was supposed to end. The promised king had been mocked, beaten, crucified. A crown of thorns had replaced a crown of glory. And now, in the cold darkness of a tomb, hope itself appeared buried. But heaven was not silent. Before dawn on the first day of the week, when the city still slept beneath shadows, women came to the tomb carrying spices for the dead. Every step they took was heavy with sorrow. Their hearts were broken, but love drove them forward. One question haunted them in the dim morning light: who will roll away the stone? Then the earth began to tremble. Not with the tremor of fear alone, but with the force of heaven breaking into history. An angel of the Lord descended in brilliance like lightning. The stone was not gently moved, it was rolled back with divine authority. The guards, trained men hardened by violence, collapsed in terror, frozen like the dead before the power of the living God. And the tomb was empty. The place of death had become the stage of victory. The angel spoke into the trembling silence: "Do not be afraid. You seek Jesus, who was crucified. He is not here. He has risen, just as he said. He is not here." For words that changed the destiny of humanity. The women stepped forward, overwhelmed by fear and wonder. The linen cloths remained. The grave was real. The death was real. But now the emptiness before them declared something greater than reason, stronger than empire, and louder than the grave itself. Jesus was alive. They ran from the tomb, breathless, hearts pounding between terror and joy, carrying news too holy to contain. And then, suddenly, he stood before them. Not as memory, not as vision, not as legend, alive. The same Jesus who had been pierced. The same Jesus who had been buried. Now standing in resurrected glory. He greeted them with peace. And they fell at his feet in worship, tears breaking into joy, sorrow collapsing into awe. Death had done its worst. Hell had spent its fury. The grave had closed its mouth around the Son of God and could not hold him. Soon the disciples would see him too. In their fear, he would enter the room. In their doubt, he would show his wounds. In their despair, he would speak peace. And with his presence, everything changed. Because the resurrection was not merely the return of a man to life. It was the declaration that sin had been confronted. That death had been defeated. That darkness had been pierced by everlasting light. The stone was rolled away, not so Christ could get out, but so the world could see that the tomb was empty. This is the victory at the center of history. The cross was not the end. The tomb was not the end. The silence of Saturday was not the end. Sunday came, and with it came the greatest reversal the world has ever known. Where humanity expected decay, God brought glory. Where people saw finality, heaven announced forever. Where tears fell in the darkness, resurrection rose with the dawn. And that is why the resurrection still shakes the earth. Because it means no grave has the final word over those who belong to him. No night lasts forever. No stone is too heavy for God. And no broken heart is beyond the reach of resurrection power. Jesus Christ, crucified and buried, rose again. And because he lives, hope lives. The tomb is empty, and the world will never be the same.